To be exposed to that many people, that many opinions all at once on just you, it's not normal.
It's wild. And I'm looking, I'm like, who are you? Like, man, who created these questions? That's
like,
crazy. That's wild. I would say
tight turnaround or delayed payment.
tight turnaround. Tight turnaround. Listen.
I agree to an extent, but go ahead, say your piece. What is your highest paid deal?
My highest paid was Hello everybody. My name is Mohamet Mbaye. I go by Swaggy Mo on socials, and we are here with Creators on Creators with Fola.
Fola Amudipe. Yeah, I'm also here with Creators on Creators. I am a natural hair creator, and yeah, my at is at Fola Amudipe on everything.
I guess I was supposed to say what kind of content I create too.
Yeah, it's okay.
I do a little bit of everything. I do fashion, skincare, health and wellness. So,
right, all the things.
You know, every other day you might catch me on social media, you know, yelling at people about eating right or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like I started with natural hair, but I do a little bit more now in the like lifestyle, do travel, hair, fashion, friendship, community, stuff like that. So that is kind of where my brand.
That's so fire. That's so fire.
Yeah. Okay. So what led you to start creating, and what has been your experience so far?
For me, creating, the way I got into content creation is a little bit different, I feel like, than a lot of people. Because I first started out as a model, right? But then I realized I'm like, I really want to kind of have a voice so much more than just like standing in front of a camera and taking pictures. It was cool, but I had a lot to say that I felt like I wasn't really able to express on what I was doing. And so I decided, I'm like, you know what, I think creating content actually might have to be the way to go. And also the idea of just feeling like I needed a community that I can pour into, because I felt like a lot of people that look like me were struggling with a lot of the things that I was struggling with, you know, whether it comes to, you know, people making fun of their skin complexion and, you know, all these other things. So I just felt like I wanted to create a community where I can pour into my people, and that is a reflection of the type of content that I create now, and kind of like the type of content that I feel like I will always be creating going on forward, you know? So,
I love that.
Yeah, how about you?
Okay, I feel like I call us like the new creator class, like 2020. I feel like people either accidentally fell into creation or like, you know, everybody was just like, all right, we're home, so what are we gonna do? But I feel like I started just a little bit before COVID happened. It was like 2018, 2019. And like after my dad's passing, after I graduated college, it was like, okay, what now? And that 2019, I think I made my first YouTube video, because everybody always asked me about my hair in college. And I was like, I don't got time to make a YouTube video. Like, I got work to do. I got to study. I got to do all these things. So I'm like, okay, I have the time. People keep asking me. I'm like, instead of just writing all these messages to all these different people, I'm just going to make a YouTube video and just send it to them. But that became a thing. And I was like, okay, let me just turn my platform into something that Black women can relate to when it comes to natural hair. And that kind of had some traction. And then COVID happened, and I was like, okay, a little hobby, and then a part-time thing, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this full-time, and I was like, okay, you know, so I was looking a little light.
Check started checking.
Exactly.
Check
started checking. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I started, and I've been full-time for 3 years, and then doing this kind of like 5-6 years now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. I feel like for me, it was one of those things that like, I feel like I've been just hard-headed, because I was creating full-time when I shouldn't have been creating full-time, if that makes sense. The money was not checking like that, but I just
was trying to make it work.
I was just like, whatever. Like I just had my mind down, like I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off.
Exactly.
So I just,
and look at you now.
Yeah, you
Period.
know. You're getting there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. So what's your favorite brand collaboration, and in a few words, why?
Ooh, my favorite one, I would say it would have to be K. Ali. I love K. Ali. Like, they're just so fire.
Mona.
Yeah, Mona is such an amazing person. Like, one of my favorite people I've ever met. Not even just brand founders. Like, she's just such an amazing, kind soul.
I love that.
And it's something about just working with a company that you feel like you can kind of relate to. You know, ethics and morals, and that's how I feel working with them.
Because she speaks out too, outside of just brand stuff, like anything that's happening in the world. Yeah, her and her sister.
Yeah, they're just both amazing. And I always say that, like, regardless of if they never book me again ever for like anything, I will always like do everything in my power to always push whatever it is that they're doing. Just because, like, I can feel like she's a genuine, like, good person,
Yes.
like good person. You
the
can tell
heart,
she
yeah.
actually cares.
Yeah.
You know, and I
agree.
love that.
I agree.
You know?
You can see it even in what she posts. her
Exactly.
And her
Like,
sister. I was like,
she's just
Huda and
amazing.
Kayali. Chef's kiss.
Amazing.
But tell us a little bit more. You went to Dubai, right? They
Oh
flew
yeah,
you out to Dubai.
The Dubai trip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was fire.
Yeah.
Listen.
I feel like
Don't
they
go to
spoil y'all.
Don't go to Dubai if you're not going with Kayali.
Period.
I'm telling you.
Period.
Going to Dubai with Kayali is a different type of. I was like, this is luxury. This is life.
This is real.
I'm trying to book another one. I'm trying to get Kayali, book me another trip. But it was just so. Oh man, it was so beautiful. Just. The treatment, you just getting 5-star treatment everywhere. You know, 5-star treatment in LA is different than 5-star treatment in Dubai.
It's different.
Sweet. I was like, yeah, they really, they really did their big one on this one.
No, I love that for you.
So,
let me hit up Mona one time.
I might have to.
You watching this?
Mona, sure. Take me and her. Take us together. But how about you? What was your favorite brand collaboration?
I feel like I have a few. I would say the one, I mean, I didn't get paid for this one, but like travel wise, I was able to take my mom on her like first international trip to, where do we go? Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. She loved it. She was like, oh my God, we get this, we get that, we do this. She's like, this is what your job is. And I'm like, yeah. I get to create content and like bring you in on stuff like this, and she was just so grateful for it. But seeing her like light up in things that she wasn't able to do, like sometimes I think about like, wow, my mom is just a girl too. Like she hasn't really lived like how I want her to live. So being able to take her on like a brand trip like that was like, loved it. She still talks about it to this day.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's lovely. I can't wait to take my parents on a vacation.
Yeah.
Soon. I feel like they've never taken a vacation, really.
Exactly.
Like never ever.
No, seriously.
You know,
and I'd be like, please just rest.
Exactly.
You work so hard, rest.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that's one of my favorites.
Okay, bad. So do you prefer, like when it comes to brands, complete creative freedom or a big budget? Which one do you?
Big budget. Sometimes a big. No, hold on. I feel like, a big budget looks nice, but sometimes when you work with a brand that's so like they push back a lot, or they have so many like stipulations, you have to do this, you have to do that, and they confine you. Sometimes it makes me want to just like, all right, I don't even want to work with y'all again because this has been a horrible experience. But I will say creative freedom is probably I think that works better because when it relates to like when you're able to have creative freedom, I think it shows in what you post into your audience too, and then like the engagement actually performs well versus like something that feels staged or scripted. I'm like, yeah, you get the money, but then sometimes it's like you broke trust with your audience, or they feel like you're just doing this for the money. Like sometimes it can really read across that way. So
no, absolutely.
I prefer that.
I think for me, it depends on how restricted they are when it comes to the brief.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I'm able to make it work, but there's nothing. A big budget it depends on how big we're talking
budget,
to. A big budget, and listen, okay, let's push back. What you need?
Yeah. Because I'm like, let's get on the call. Let's talk to the concept a little bit.
Let's get on the call.
Because what do you mean?
And then what I usually do though, when it comes to those kind of like things, I usually sometimes just make sure I overshoot.
Yeah.
So I overshoot when I know that like the brand is like very restrictive. I overshoot so that way even when they come for like revisions and stuff, I already have something that I can add in, something I can take out or whatever the case may be. So you don't have to reshoot. Yeah, so I try to make sure to really kind of stay on top of the brief as much as possible, like hit all the points that they would want for me to hit, and then I can kind of like add my own creative freedom into that. So I just feel like sometimes they can be restrictive, but oftentimes they're not gonna be like, oh, this is. Sometimes maybe the pronunciation of the words or certain things, or like the brands, which brands actually do take that to heart.
Yeah, like, they do. They do.
And I have an accent. I'm like, bruh, like I don't know how to pronounce this word that well. But so oftentimes I make sure I just hit what they need to get hit, and then I can just kind of like mix around. If they don't like it, then okay, let's figure out. But as long as the budget is hitting. Then, you know what I'm saying? We gonna make it work.
We gonna make it work. No, yeah. Okay, so tight turnaround or delayed payment?
Tight turnaround. Tight turnaround. Listen.
I agree to an extent. But go ahead, say your piece.
tight turnaround, but I say tight turnaround because I work well under pressure.
Okay.
You know, and I know that's a very toxic thing for a lot of people, but for me, because I've been creating videos for such a long time, I'm able to really execute a lot of things in a very like kind of like short, like in a day I can shoot a whole shoot, edit, everything done. You know, so I think tight turnaround, and oftentimes, regardless, like the turnaround is not really that tight if you think about it, compared to maybe like some you get like a week or two to whatever to film. But oftentimes it's like a week. I don't really look at that as like a tight turnaround.
It's not that tight. I think it depends
3
on.
days, it's not even tight turnaround.
Yeah, I think it depends on the niche. Like if a skincare brand is asking me to do something where I need 3 months for it to be visibly shown to the audience, like I'm not gonna. Y'all, I need more time with this product.
Exactly.
But I can do like with me when it comes to hair stuff, I can do like a tight turnaround. Like as long as I can get like 3 days, 4 days, I'm okay. But yeah, delayed payment, sometimes it's like a tight turnaround and delayed payment, and I'm just like, y'all, please.
Listen, brands, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Y'all gonna have to start
figuring it out.
Bro, first of all, we already are working on net 60. But first of
sometimes it'd be net 90 though.
When a brand hit me up with net 90, like that's like
insane.
It's almost like it's like a slap in the face.
No, because it'd be like from like let's say January, you start talking, doing the negotiations, and then the thing doesn't go live until like February, March, and then from there they're like, oh yeah, the contract you don't get paid until once the content goes live. Net 90 from there. Sometimes it's net 30, and then it'd be like, oh y'all are late. It'll be like net 60, but like. Hello, y'all.
Make it make sense. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like,
you won't get paid until like a quarter later.
I seriously don't understand, and it's like so frustrating sometimes because it's like, and I feel like this is something that a lot of people don't understand within the like influencer space, or at least people that are aspiring to become content creators, is that they don't understand the concept of like you can work on a campaign today and not get paid for it until 6 months from now.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. So if you don't know how to manage your money wisely, like you blow through whatever it is that you make. So you have to be like very like structured in how you deal with certain things.
Absolutely.
Because
having a padded fund, an emergency fund.
It's so crucial.
All the things.
So
you have
crucial.
to be financially literate in this.
You do.
In this game.
You do. If not, you will blow. I had to learn a very hard lesson myself. Honestly, I'm still learning. I still haven't learned fully yet, but I'm getting better.
Working on it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Working on it for sure.
Okay, segment 2 is the quick fire round.
Yeah.
So, would you like to edit on your laptop or edit on your phone?
Laptop.
Okay. I feel like if I shot on the phone, edit on the phone. If I shot on my camera, edit on the laptop.
Okay.
Because I'm like,
I can't stand editing on my phone. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how people do it.
I feel like with me, when you edit on your laptop, especially when I have like bigger files on like a bigger camera, sometimes I feel like I'm playing storage, like I have to transfer this to this because I don't have enough storage on this laptop or storage on this SSD or this hard drive, and I'm like transferring things around to like, I don't know, the files start getting really big.
Yeah, but it depends. Wait, so do you edit on your actual laptop or you edit on the SSD?
I edit on the SSD.
Yeah, so just buy more SSDs or
know,
play it
but
around.
it's a lot.
But you should just get like what I do, I have, because what I used to do before, I would like delete, or like I would just keep the final project,
I delete the
and then
render
delete
files.
like all the render files and everything like that. But now what I realize is that I'd rather just have like a dock at home that has like maybe like 5 or 10 terabytes or whatever the case may be, that I can just offload everything, like the raw videos and everything. So in case if I need to like re-edit something or whatever, or a new platform comes out that I want to kind of like re-edit something or start fresh, I can just get an editor or whatever and then just go from there.
Even those cost money too. I feel like you don't realize until like you start shopping Best Buy, Amazon, and these 1 terabyte, 5 terabyte, 10 terabytes be like $200, $300, $500.
Money.
Jesus Christ.
And you run through it like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I run through terabytes like nothing.
That's what I mean. When you edit on the phone, I feel like because they're smaller files, it's easier to edit quick and get it up versus I feel like with my bigger camera, I'm playing like, oh my God, this thing is taking forever. The rendering of files is slow, and the camera's huffing and puffing. And
I can see that.
The laptop, but yeah.
I can see that.
Okay. Shoot S-Log, or am I saying this right?
Yeah, S-Log.
Rec 709?
Yeah, Rec 709. I'm usually S-Log. I like color grading.
Okay.
Because I feel like it just gives you more flexibility to be able to like control the creative aspect of it. Like you can make it look anyhow.
Yeah.
When you shoot with a like Rec 709, well, the normal color profile of the that the camera comes with standard.
Right, yeah.
Usually there's not much flexibility in terms of you being able to, you know, if it's too sunny outside and you want to, you know, decrease the highlights or whatever the case. So it's sometimes you don't have that much flexibility versus when you shoot with S-Log, you can you have so much more flexibility later on to do whatever you want with it. So
I feel like I like shooting in D-Log on my Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
I love that Osmo Pocket.
Like when you add the colors back in, I'm just like, oh, it looks so cinematic. For that small little camera, it looks so cinematic. But for everything else, I record like regular. I feel like I'm not that. I love filmmakers. I'm actually really inspired by filmmakers, but I feel like I'm not there yet, and I'm still learning how to like do all the color, this, that, and the other.
It's a thing. I feel like once you start shooting log, it's hard to shoot with a normal profile again. Yeah. Because even though like it takes a little bit of, you know, color grading doesn't even take that much time once you learn it.
Yeah.
But it just shooting with a regular normal profile, I'll do it on my phone, but other than that, anything else I would just have to
go color grade. Okay.
And speaking of that DJI, I feel like that's the most underrated camera there is.
You know, everybody has it though, so I feel like, is it underrated or is
it? Actually, yeah, you're right. But underrated in the sense that I feel like people don't know how to utilize it or use it for its fullest capabilities.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that camera is so fire.
It's
like,
so good.
So fire.
And there's so many accessories to like make it do what you want. Like I have like a magnetic thing, a hook.
Me too. I be hanging that thing on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm getting different shots I never could have even imagined.
DJI, you want to work with me? Just let me know. Just let me know. Okay. Long form or short form content?
I'll say short form.
Okay, consuming or creating? Because I feel like I'm different. When I like consuming long form content, but I don't like creating long form content.
I do like consuming long form content. Yeah. Sometimes it depends on what I'm consuming.
Okay.
But I do love creating short form. For some reason, what I realize is that I can edit short form for sometimes, like let's say if it's a video that I'm really excited about, I can spend hours editing that.
Yeah.
YouTube, after 30 minutes, I just get pissed off. I'm like, why am I even doing this? So I had to get an editor, but it's cool now, but I feel like I genuinely do enjoy short form because, I don't know, I just feel like maybe it's that, it's like I get dopamine hit from it. Yeah,
I know. I think with like YouTube and long form, it's that delayed gratification because it's like you feel like you spent so much work putting in this like long film together. You want people to watch it, and it doesn't really hit the same.
It don't.
Like it can snowball because that's happened to me. Like I had a video that got like 1,000 views. I was like, oh my god, I spent so long editing this, and then now it's at like 1 million something.
Oh wow, yeah, that's fire.
But it took a while. It took a while.
Yeah, it does. And I actually first started off with YouTube first. Like when I first started creating content with you, I was pushing. Yeah. Nothing was budging.
Yeah.
But now I'm actually got back into YouTube and started creating more on there. So we're gonna figure out how to make a jump. I feel like I've been able to make a jump on every platform.
Yeah.
YouTube for some reason has just been stuck, and I'm just like. But now I feel like since I have an editor and having like a team around it, we're gonna figure out how that works.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had to lose one piece of your kit, tripod, camera, laptop, phone, what would it be and why?
Man, who created these questions? That's crazy. That's wild. I would say,
I have a lot of things in my kit. I have a lot of tech.
I would say phone.
Really? I'm like, that's your home.
No, actually, that's crazy though. Phone is crazy. But if you think, actually, no, I'll say tripod.
Yeah.
Tripod is.
I was gonna say tripod too, because I feel like you can do without a tripod.
Yeah, I actually can. I was thinking, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking that like if I'm shooting or something.
Like a phone camera.
But actually, phone is actually crazy. Tripod is way cheaper than a phone, so I would go without the tripod.
I can rebuy a tripod. That's no big.
You can figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what are some of the challenges you face as a creator?
I feel like I have a lot of challenges.
Okay, lay them out. I'm your therapist for the day.
I know. Honestly, I want to say like mental health and being online is like, I feel like a big one. I feel like you can get so wrapped up in the addictiveness of like the algorithm and feeling like you need to hit these numbers or feeling like these numbers validate you and your worth. And I'm like, that is a huge thing that I feel like I had to really cut off, like have boundaries with like, if I posted something, I'm posting it because I like what I put out versus does someone else's likes or comments or shares validate how much I put into this piece of content. But that's for sure one of the challenges. I'm like, I low-key be feeling like I need a therapist just to talk about social media because I feel like it'd be Woo.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's high key a lot, and I appreciate that you. I feel like a lot of content creators actually struggle with that a lot because it's one of those things where social media has this thing where it almost want to play a role in dictating your happiness in a sense, and you have to like nip it in the butt. Like it's like, no, this is whether the video goes viral or whether it quote unquote tanks. The way I look at it is like, as long as one person is watching and can benefit from it, my job is done. But I feel like for me, one of my biggest challenges is figuring out how to kind of create that boundary between being somewhat like an activist in a sense and being able to kind of like work on brand integration into my content, because I can go off of a tangent from like a whole month. I don't mention not one brand, but it's just like it's gonna be hard for brands to see how they can kind of like advertise onto your platform if you're not necessarily utilizing them to that capabilities. But I'm also so big on community to the point where I just always have to feel like I have to figure out a way to be there for my community. And I feel like there's so many things that we gotta work through within our communities that, you know, I always kind of like feel like I owe it to myself and to my people to kind of talk about those things. So I take that very seriously. So maybe I need to create like another channel or something, Swaggy Unfiltered or something.
Yeah, you know, we've been doing Substacks and like having newsletters, so I feel like that could be in itself one thing.
I might have to do that.
Or a Discord or something.
Yeah, I might have to do that. But I've been doing pretty good though lately.
That's good, like a balance. That too, I feel like I struggle with balance, like balancing all my niches and feeling like, okay, people come to me for hair, but like sometimes I want to talk about travel or I want to talk about my fashion. Or I'm like feeling like, I'm stuck in a rut, even balancing life stuff, like feeling like, okay, this is my job, but sometimes I gotta know when to clock in and clock out, especially clock out, because I can be on my laptop, be on my phone. My screen time looks crazy.
Talk about screen time. I'll be embarrassed sometimes looking at my phone. I'm like, look at your life. But then I think about it, I'm like, this is literally my job in a sense, but it's just like, I know for sure I could be spending less time than I do, because most of the time I'm not like really looking for inspiration or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I'm just watching funny cat videos and
dog
stuff.
videos.
Like, and I'm just like, what is this? What my life has come to?
I'm crying.
Like, you know,
I
so,
really have to have like firm boundaries and stick to them.
Yeah. So do you have the timer thing on your thing?
On my TikTok, I do. I set it for an hour and 30 minutes, but I keep delay.
You know, I'm not on TikTok. My TikTok watch hours like time is like maybe sometimes 30 minutes a day. Sometimes some days I don't even go on it.
Really?
Instagram is where the problem is. Them cat videos find me.
Please.
Like it's just they find me everywhere.
I'm crying. Yeah. Okay. What are some techniques for growing and engaging with your audience? I feel like you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what would you say?
For me, I would say it's just literally being unhinged.
Please.
For me, at least, it's just like the way I look at it is just like I feel like oftentimes, like people are so used to the norm, like of how people communicate and how people. So for me, I just literally the video ideas come to me in my head like this. I'm gonna deliver it exactly like that, and sometimes it's like very jarring because I'm just like talking about the most randomest, craziest thing. But it's you gotta look at it as this. Like social media is just whoever can grab the person's attention the most. That's what it comes down to. Sometimes, and so you know, trying to balance how to kind of gravitate or get somebody's attention while still being authentic to your image and to your brand can be a really difficult thing sometimes.
I agree.
You know, but I feel like the more you do it, more people just really like gravitate towards your face, you know? So yeah.
I feel like for me, at least with engaging with my audience, I really like using Instagram, even though like sometimes, you know, Instagram, they have their own problems. But I feel like I've built a solid community on there where like, me and the girls be kikiing in the DMs. Like, I feel like those, I mean, I know people talk about like parasocial relationships and feeling like it's one-sided, but I do feel like if I got all the girls that were like in my DMs together, like we would have a time. Like, that's how, like we go back and forth and it's really cute. But I think like, I need to do this more. I think I need to talk on camera more. So so people can like know my personality. Cause I feel like when I started off with educational content, I felt like a teacher instead of like a sister or like a friend. So I'm like trying to like change the way I show up online so that people feel me versus like a presence or a persona that I'm putting on. So I'm like that I feel like a lot of people do and a lot of people talk about on TikTok, but I need to do for myself and just keep myself accountable.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
But yeah, are you with management?
You know, we talked about
we already talked about it.
Let me tell you, man. I feel like I haven't. I'm good now, but I feel like before I had to try so many different things, so many different like no, not so many different, but maybe 2 to 3. But I just felt like, but also a part of me wasn't patient to a degree, because sometimes just because you sign doesn't mean it takes a little bit of time for it. But I just feel like I know also what I want in a management or in an agency.
Yeah.
Like if I have to be hounding you around for a phone call or a meeting or like a strategy call, like we're just not. This is one agency I was once signed with, and it also has to do with your agent a lot. And it was like for like 2 months, and it was just like, why am I having to hit you up for us to do like a strategy? You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't making sense.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, nah, F this. I don't care how big this agency is. Like, it's not even doing it to me. So what that's about me. Like, if if I don't feel like my energy aligns, I'm just not doing it. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
That makes a lot of sense. So. Yeah, I feel like even when I was independent, because I'm with KG now, but when I was independent, I feel like it was so important for me to know the nitty gritty of what the behind the scenes looks like, because I feel like you can then understand how your management is supposed to advocate for you.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot off your plate that you don't have to do it anymore. But there's been situations, mutuals I know that have been with agencies that have done them dirty. And I'm just like, not knowing how it works behind the scenes can really be a disadvantage. So it's nice having management, but also know the ins and outs, so you know if the manager is good for you.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. I feel like you gotta know your business.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a business.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't just be oblivious to the fact that, like, no, you need to know exactly what's coming in. So what I actually really usually I like to be kind of like added in the thread, even though sometimes I don't look at it, but oftentimes I'm able to see like, okay, what is this looking like? What is this conversation looking like, and how are the things going and whatnot? So
I agree.
So yeah.
So how do you work on building creative relationships?
Creative relationships, as in, I guess, like with other creators. You know, I feel like this is something that I had to work on, that I'm actually very actively working on now, because I'm very much so like a loner oftentimes. Like I don't really,
and I feel like this job does, like, it kind of makes you feel that way, because it's just you and the camera most times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I realize, like, I really don't be looking for people too much. You know, like I have this energy that's like, I can do better on my own. And it's not even from like coming from a place of like cockiness or whatever the case, but it just comes from like, sometimes, you know, you poured into people so much and it just kind of ended up going a different direction than you kind of intended.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I feel like I was protecting my peace way too much. And I realized that, like, in life, sometimes you're just gonna have to take a gamble on certain things, you know what I'm saying?
Because you still need to build community, even if it doesn't end up turning out how the way you want. Like, there's still learning lessons. And I feel like it builds that discernment too, like that muscle of discernment.
It does.
But I feel like I feel luckily that I haven't had any bad situations in terms of like creative relationships, but I feel like it's been really important for me, because when I started, I was living at home with my mom, my sister, my family. Like, they had no idea what this looked like. So I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to like move out. And like, when I go to these events, I have other people to lean on, because I'm like, a lot of things that was happening, I was like, I don't know how to advocate for myself. I don't know what rates I should be doing. I don't know, like, it was a lot better for me. Like, when I met Oyi, actually, she was somebody who put me on. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like, somebody who can show you the behind the scenes. It kind of like lifted the veil for me, like, okay, it's great to have these creative relationships, because they're kind of like your coworkers in a sense. And like that level of like, you know, there's a lot of things that I feel like you can't Google when it comes to the influencer marketing. Everything is so wild, wild west. That's like having those friends to lean on and be like, okay, I got this campaign, or I got this like thing from XYZ brand. What do you think about this? Or did you get this? Or how much did you charge? Or how much are they giving you? Like, those type of things, I feel like you can't really have those conversations online. So it's nice to have those relationships.
Yeah, I tell you what, the influencer industry or the content creator industry is one of those things where if you're not inside, you're just not inside.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. It's just like there's certain information that if you don't know people that willingly want to put you on, you just won't know.
Yeah.
Like, you just won't know.
Like,
and
you really have to go out of your way to find it.
Exactly. You really have to. And it's like, there's no page on Google that you can kind of go to, and like, even these quote unquote experts that are talking about like rates that you should charge or whatever the case may be, oftentimes
they're outdated.
They are outdated and they are like undercharging like a month. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I'm looking at these things and like, oh, you have 200K, you should be charging this. I'm like, Come on.
No,
Like,
right. There's so many
Yeah.
information, like disinformation, like it really is the Wild West. There's no like standard.
There really isn't. But if you know, you know. Because
Right.
sometimes it's
I think it takes networking.
you hear what somebody get paid for a brand deal, it makes you really have to reconsider your life. I'm like, what is going? Because this is like, yeah, it's just no. It's man. Some people are making. Oof,
If I speak.
chai.
Okay, so do you think you have a healthy relationship? We kind of talked on this a little bit. A healthy
Yeah.
relationship with social media?
I think I do,
Okay.
to a degree. But what I can tell when I'm kind of like derailing. Like, there were times the first thing I do when I wake up was to check my social media, and you know that's when I know I'm like, all right, Mo, you gotta tap back in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so I had to really force myself to kind of like develop a morning routine where I'm actually pouring into myself first before I worry about what a bunch of other people
Opinions, yes,
opinions and stuff like that
yes.
is happening.
I agree.
But that was something that I really had to kind of work on myself because it is so crucial. Like, it's easy for you to like really like go kind of like off the rails when it comes to social media, and you wouldn't even realize it because it's just such a norm, you know? So
I agree 100%.
yeah. How about you?
I think I kind of touched on it a little bit with like your screen time and like that feeling so like wrapped up in the numbers of everything. I feel like sometimes that would get to me a lot, and I'd be like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I need to fix this. I need to fix that. And I feel like I start to overthink, and I'm like, it just doesn't do anything for my stress. Doesn't do anything for my mental health. And like, I really do have to touch grass sometimes, like really build a morning routine, like you said, a nighttime routine, have boundaries, clock in, clock out, like kind of treat it like an actual business 9-to-5 job. Even though I am the CEO and I feel like I always have to be tapped in, sometimes it's like you can overwork yourself to the point where it's not doing any favors for you. So
no, absolutely, that's so real.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like just now learning that now, in a sense where, at least with like social media, you have to learn how to kind of, I want to say, take everything with a grain of salt, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the numbers can get to you, and you always feel like you have to keep up that level of performance at all times, and it's not sustainable oftentimes. Like, I realized maybe like the last month, like last 2 months, 3 months, or whatever case may be, my monthly like views on Instagram will be like 15 million views. Like, and it's like a part of me felt like I kind of needed to keep that. I'm just like, nah, bro. If I need to chill out, I need to chill out. If I need to be lazy for a week, guess what? I'm lazy for a week.
Yeah,
even though the numbers is going down, but I'm like, okay, cool. It doesn't take away from the fact that I still achieve those numbers. You know what I'm saying?
And your content's still good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like oftentimes we feel like the content has to reach millions and millions of people for it to be successful. But in reality, I feel like oftentimes the content that I feel as though like relates to me the most, or the content that I feel like is the most impactful for me, are the ones that don't really even perform that well. Like, when I talk about like mental health, when I talk about a lot of these things that I'm being a lot more vulnerable, those are the things that I don't even want for it to go viral.
Yeah, because it'll hit a different
what
side
I'm
of the
saying?
internet.
That's the thing. Yo, the internet is devious. Listen, it's like you can make the wrong left turn real quick. And you realize that, yo, my GPS really was tripping. Like, take me back.
For real. Take me back. Because I don't want that. Virality sometimes is a trick.
I'm telling you, the internet is wild. And if you haven't yet worked on you really like loving yourself and just understanding that the numbers and what people are saying doesn't define you, you will, oh my days. This is one time I went viral for, I was just in a pool. Mind you, I was just in a pool. Like, and it was just something like, I said something about like dark skin or whatever the case may be. And then, but that's how you realize that, I'm like, the algorithm is just so crazy, because it went from maybe like the first couple of weeks, nothing but just like dark skin, like the most racist comments, like the craziest comments. I'm looking, I'm like, Instagram, this how you gonna do me? Like, it was bad. And then like after that, like it almost like it just shifted to another. And now it was like women coming through like, oh, y'all just hating because he looks good and he like you know. But that's when I'm like, social media is actually crazy. If you really are so focus or hyper fixated on what people are saying, you will suffer. This game is not for you.
Yeah, because those things aren't normal. Like to be exposed to that many people, that many opinions all at once on just you, it's not normal.
It's wild. And I'm looking, I'm like, who are you? Like, who are you?
You want to pop off so bad, but it's just like sometimes these people, they don't even be doing. I'm like, they don't even have a profile picture.
Yeah.
They just be spam accounts.
I really realized I take people serious on social media, but I don't at the same time. To a degree. To my community, I do, but a bunch of random people, I really don't care.
You really have to have discernment.
When I realize, especially since I do like a lot of skincare, I will post sometimes a skincare video. It would be like a random guy in the comments. Or fellas, y'all don't need this. I actually just had to make another video about this, but y'all don't need to do this. Just worrying about making money and feeding your family. You don't need to. I'm like, okay, cool.
What are you doing here? Scroll. You should just scroll.
I ain't forced you to watch the video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go do that.
Help my engagement then.
And it's so crazy. Yeah.
You said before I go off on a tangent.
Yeah, I'll go crazy on here. Don't let me go crazy on here.
Okay, where are we at?
What is your creative process when receiving
a brief and working
with a brand?
Okay, so I feel like right when I get a brief, usually we've already negotiated, we've signed the deal, whatever. I go into concepting. Like I need to kind of get my ideas on paper, and I feel like it's beneficial for both me and the brand because before I start filming, don't ask me to reshoot because I've already given you the brief and you already okayed the brief. But I feel like I'll go in with the brief and kind of like talk about what my general idea is going to be, how that feeds into the actual video. I might be very detailed depending on if I know this brand to be very restrictive, but just so that they can get a better idea. But after I do that, put the music that I plan on using, an idea of like a caption, send it to them, wait for their approval, get it back, and then I start filming. Always wait for the approval because if they say no and you've already started filming.
Yeah, ask that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much how, like when my creative process, like I mean, obviously once the concept is done, depending on like if it's hair or travel, whatever the case is, with travel stuff, I like to like use a lot of different equipments, a lot of different dynamic creative shots. So I might use my drone or my DJI or my action camera, like just so I can have different type of visuals. But if it's like hair stuff, it's usually focused on what I'm educating the person on. So I'm really, it's not too creative, but I might start shifting a little bit. What about you?
What I realized for me, I just used a raw dog. Like campaigns. I don't say no brief.
Nothing?
Even now, unless if they send me like if they require a brief.
If they require it, yeah.
If not, I'm just like, okay, I see what the requirements are. I just go off of that. What I realized is actually making a brief actually does help with shooting, like capturing the content. But oftentimes, like I just
set us all up here.
Yeah, I just go off on a
Even with
tangent.
Sephora Squad, did they not make you do concepts?
They did, and I hated it.
I'm crying.
I hated it at some point. I'm like, bro, why am I having to send a brief? I just did not like it at all. But now, I'm glad I used to do, because now it makes it a little bit easier when I work with other brands and they're like, oh, concept. I'm like, okay, bro.
You have an idea of what to do.
I have an idea of what to kind of like do already.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
Yeah. So, let's talk through your creative process from concept to execution. So, I'm going to ask, the first one is luxury scented candle, right? The objective is to boost brand awareness for a new line of luxury scented candles, emphasizing relaxation and ambience. And the focus is to highlight the premium ingredients, long-lasting scent, and how the candles elevate any space. The creative concept is Unwind With Me, featuring the candle in a cozy nighttime routine. Home styling inspiration, show how the candle enhances different spaces. The deliverable is one Instagram reel or TikTok. And what would your rate, let's say, what's your rate for this campaign?
Okay. I was kind of like ideating as you were talking. Yeah. So I feel like what I would do, since it's kind of the candle and unwind, is kind of like present that luxury idea of like your lifestyle, but in a way that's it's not luxury like what you can buy, but like how you created and crafted your lifestyle. So like, you know, waking up and as soon as you wake up, you like light a candle, you whatever with your space, relax, sit down. Because I'm like a natural hair girly, I might shower by candlelight and like do that whole like natural hair wash day. Because I feel like a lot of us black girls like really dread wash day, but if you make it like a luxurious thing, like I usually I actually do this too, and I usually put on. I have like a little thing that holds my phone in the shower. I light a candle. I put my speaker on, connect it to my phone, and I do my wash day in like a moody lighting. So it's like the candle is what's like keeping it lit, and just like vibe. Like I'm having my whole routine in the shower, but it's like you're enjoying it because it's like a nice smell with the candle, and it's like just romanticizes everything. So that's kind of how I would do the concept. What I would charge, you said a reel. My reel and my TikToks, or my Instagram and my TikToks are different rates because I have different
numbers.
Yeah, different numbers. My TikTok is bigger. But for Instagram, I think base would be anywhere from 5 to 7K.
Yeah.
Is there anything about usage, whitelisting?
It just says rate for this campaign.
Oh, okay, then that's it. But I mean, you could always boost up the whole deal with usage.
The usage, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that was mine. For yours, the objective for this is it's fashion sneakers launch. You're gonna generate excitement for a newly reimagined heritage lifestyle sneaker set to be the must-have shoe of 2025. You're gonna highlight its blend of the vintage style and modern comfort, making it the perfect versatile sneaker for any occasion. The creative concept examples are day to night styling, transition outfits from morning to evening, or get ready with me transitions from build an outfit with me, watch me style my sneakers, etc., etc. And your deliverables are one Instagram reel or a TikTok video, and your rate for the campaign.
So when it comes to stuff like that, usually what I'm thinking already is like a get ready with me, or like 3 or 4 different ways that I will style these sneakers. So for example, I actually did something like that with Puma, where they had like these classic sneakers that they were kind of like relaunching. And the way I would go about executing is just creating 4 different styles that I would be able to kind of like execute with.
Yeah.
But another concept that I can also go with is, let's say, sometimes just going to like different occasions. I would wear like the outfits and maybe go to different places. So for example, I can show that you can dress it up and go to dinner, I can show that you can,
like versatility.
You can maybe, go on a supermarket or whatever the case may be, you have some shorts or whatever the case. You can play tennis in them. You just at a tennis court playing with it. And just kind of like highlighting the different kind of like features of the shoes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And and for rate wise, I guess it depends. But I say like anywhere from like 10 and up.
Yeah. Okay, so segment 4 is money talks. What is your highest paid deal?
My highest paid was definitely up in the 5 figures, I would say. It was actually like a TV commercial I did, which was, those are always so fire because them usage rates, them usage rates be busted. But I just loved it so much because I didn't really have to worry about creating so much. It was more so just like them kind of like doing everything that they needed to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I've spent so much time like modeling and whatnot, and kind of like now I'm in a space where I have to set everything and do everything my own. Like there's nothing beats just being on set and kind of like other people are handling. If the lighting mess up, if the audio mess up, it's their thing. It's not my problem. I did my thing, And so that was lovely. That was really, really lovely.
Oh, I love that. It's kind of like you blending your modeling and your content creation.
Exactly.
Okay, cute. I think for me, I'm trying to think. I feel like it was up there. Like I think it was 50K, if I remember it correctly. But it was a long-term partnership. So it was like TikToks. I think it was 5 or 6 TikToks spread out over like a 6-month period. Okay. So it's really nice because it's still kind of like my rate just divvied up over the months. But all together, it's like, okay, I've locked in this brand deal and I know that I'm getting paid out this whatever. So that was really nice. And it was really aligned with what I do, which was hair. So
no, that's fire. That's fire. Mine was kind of around that 50 mark as well. But it was more so like I said, the usage and everything like that.
They really, once you can get people in on that usage, skyrocket the rate.
Usage. I
love that.
What was the lowest deal you ever taken, and why did you take it?
It's probably that.
Travel?
And I shouldn't, shouldn't, because I feel like I should be getting paid. As much work I be putting in, I should be getting paid. But they look to pay you an experience. But I really wanted to take my mom, that trip I was telling you about, I really wanted to take my mom. And I was like, you know what? Chuck it to the game. I got to give her this experience. And that hotel, I mean, I reviewed it and it did perform really well on socials too. People loved like having me and my mom, because I feel like I always talk about her. Like I bought her the car, like taking her on trips. Like she's always encouraging me in this
Oh, you
role.
bought her a car?
Yeah.
I hope my mom is not watching this.
She better be. She's
I haven't
gonna
bought
tell
a
you
car yet. You know what I'm saying?
But she needed it. I was so scared. Like she was riding around in some rinky-dink, and I'm like, Mom, if you get into an accident, I will feel like she's all. You know, she's like my only parent left. So I'm I would feel really, you know, just it'd be crazy. But I got her the car, and just wanting to like share those moments online, I feel like encourages people to like pour back into your own family dynamics or friends or whatever. But taking her on that trip, it's been 2 years, and she still talks about that trip like it just happened.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
that's beautiful.
Doing that, I think, beautiful. even though it was $0.
Yeah. It's crazy because for me, especially when you're talking about like pouring back into your family, I feel like one of the things that I'm doing this year is taking my grandma to Hajj, you know, and that's like one of the biggest things like within the Muslim community. Like if you're able to do that, like that's like one of the things that I've always, as a kid, like when an elderly person does something nice for you, that's like what you would pray for them, like, oh, may God take you to Hajj or whatever the case may be. So to be the person that God was able to use to kind of make that happen is like one of my biggest dreams, like come to reality.
Aww.
So.
I love that.
But one of my, the lowest deal that I've taken, what was the lowest deal that I've taken? I've taken some,
I know, it's like when you first start,
Child,
you don't know really anything.
Ghetto. I've taken some crazy deals. But I feel like, what was it? What was it actually though?
You know,
I feel like, you know what's crazy? It was actually a billboard.
Oh yeah.
It was actually
your likeness?
A billboard. Yeah.
Oh God.
But what I realized was like you know, sometimes you have to kind of like play the long game. And I realized that like they paid me for the campaign and then they wanted to use it for the billboard. I'm like, but this is gonna require like, you know what I'm saying? But I almost was like, it was nothing. Like that was like the lowest ever for a billboard. But I looked at it as an opportunity for me to really
like brand
and build my brand and kind of like grow from that point. But now, I'm on billboard. You're gonna have to talk.
Because now that I feel like when you grow a following, too, people then associate you with that said brand. Versus if you like are not as known, okay, sure, it's just a modeling gig. But I'm like, seeing Mo up there with da 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 da, I'm gonna associate that you love that brand.
Exactly.
And then if they have like some, I don't know, they fall out and they have some like crazy thing on TikTok or Instagram, then you're associated and wrapped up in it. Yep.
Exactly.
So they gotta pay big money.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you negotiate with brands?
I don't like negotiating with brands.
Me either.
I don't. My manager will handle that. I don't really.
You said I don't touch it.
I might be like, hey, you know. I look like I'm a cheerleader in the back. Yo, tell them this. I'm like, let's go for this.
Right.
But I don't like really talking to brands when it comes to like anything monetary. Really.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'd rather just keep that very kind of like cordial relations, because sometimes talking about money can be a little awkward when it comes to, and I just rather not talk about anything financial when it comes. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
The fun stuff, the creative stuff.
Yeah, the creative stuff. Let's goof around. How was your day? You know, when it comes to the money, let my manager handle
it's like you
that.
don't want to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I will say when I was independent, like doing everything myself, learning how to negotiate with brands is like well, the figures that I would use is like I think my base rate would be like 3 to 4% of my following, and that was kind of like the rate, and then taking a percentage of like 25% of like usage or 25% for like whitelisting and taking that and on a monthly basis. But I kind of would wrap up my my deliverables at like package rates. So like if you wanted an IG reel, I was like, I can do an IG reel and 3 stories or an IG story for this amount, which is higher than what they came in for the budget with. But I'm like, if you want these extra deliverables, I can do them. I can just package them up into like this cute little, you know, and they take it. Sometimes they take it that way. Or I'd be like, oh, I can do this TikTok, but then I can do a syndicated on Instagram reel for this. And then now they have like both of my followings or like being that reach or impressions or whatever. So sometimes it really takes like working smartly or thinking smartly about how you want to wrap up your deliverables to get like a higher pay too. So if there's any, newbies out there, that's how I was doing it. But I don't touch it no more. That's what I got managers for. Yeah.
So what's the number one thing you ask brands for before you collaborate? Usually I feel like it depends on what it is that like what the campaign is about. I get a lot of like energy drinks and stuff like that doesn't really align with my lifestyle or like what I would necessarily consume.
Right.
And so oftentimes it's just like ingredients and worrying about like what's in it, especially when it comes to food. Like I'm very picky when it comes to that. So that's one of the things that I really I feel like I've had to ask a lot of like numerous brands when it comes to, and I just ended up not taking them. So, but those, they pay.
Right.
They pay.
They do. It's like, do you want to not be authentic or be authentic?
Oh, do you want to make this bag?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm playing a long run, so let me stick to my guns. Because if I can't, no matter what it is, whether it's skincare, hair stuff or food, if I won't ingest it, like I wouldn't promote it. Yeah. Like for example, like if a certain company like comes to me and be like, oh, this is this, but I know that I don't take this on a regular basis, and I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing, I just wouldn't.
Yeah, because it doesn't align with your lifestyle.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I usually will do my own research on the brand because like my managers are negotiating for me, so then they'll come back with like, do you align with this? And sometimes I'll be like, no, I don't. Like there's certain things, I guess to your point, like that I don't use and I don't promote because I talk about this on my page. Like I don't use hair oils. I feel like they do the opposite of what you want them to do. Like your scalp is itchy or whatever, like you need hydration, you need to wash your scalp. I wouldn't suggest you putting oil on it, so it doesn't make sense for me to promote an oil. A lot of oils too, they say that like they're gonna regrow your hair. They're gonna no, actually just stop doing the tight ponytails and relax. Like stop doing too much with your hair. So I'm just like, no, I wouldn't talk about that. Or even like supplements. I'm like, go to your doctor. What are you deficient in? Like I'm not gonna promote, vitamins if you don't need those vitamins. So it doesn't make sense. But yeah, do you diversify your income as a creator, and if so, how?
I feel like that's one of the things that I've been kind of working on now. Like I said, I'm very kind of like directional in a sense. Like oftentimes once I'm like fixated on something, I'm just fixated on that. Yeah. And I feel like I'm now at the point where I'm really trying to figure out how to kind of like diversify and kind of like work on that. But like I have an ebook that's actually like teaching people about like healthy eating and whatnot. Okay. So that's been really good in terms of just being able to bring in, some more, like different type of income and stuff like that. So
I would say the same. Like with my income as a creator, it's so important for me to diversify because like this Q4 wasn't Q4 and how it was supposed to Q4, and I was like, I need to wake it up because I can't have all my eggs in one basket. Yeah. So I definitely, I have my accountant too that like helps me like, okay, you should be doing investing, or if you want to get into real estate. So she really pushes me in that direction. Yeah. But also with like, I have a brand strategist that I just hired because I feel like I really want to get really like deep into like, okay, what does my brand look like outside of just content creation? Because I feel like it's really reliant sometimes on your relevance. And I'm like, sometimes it's not going to always be like that. If I'm 35, I'm still talking about the same thing. Like I want to have a different brand. I want to do different things. So I'm like trying to diversify what my brand looks like so that my income can also look like that as well.
Brand strategies actually sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I might need to get that
Tap
info because
I
tell you, I've been raw dogging. I just
and it's easy too. I feel like with sponsorships, but then sometimes like, okay, with the economy now, like what we don't know how the creator economy is going to shift with all the things happening in the US. So it's just like, okay, it's trying to like really get like solid with what you plan on doing, because sometimes them brand deals be looking, they be drying up.
I know. I need to go with y'all to the UK when y'all going back.
Yeah.
I don't know. The US looking kind of scary right now. I'm like, bruh.
I just got my passport and I'm looking like, is this passport even worth anything still?
Manda moving wicked. I'm like, yeah, bruh.
Yeah, okay. So the Cianci community has rang and we're here to answer. Hello.
What is a piece of art that changed how you create?
I feel like for me, it's not one particular thing, but I would say an industry of film. Like I really look and research film and the way that I consume. Like, why do I love sci-fi so much? I always talk about sci-fi shows and I'm like, like, I don't know, Severance, like the way that they're so cinematic in their storytelling, or why am I so drawn to this story, and really taking that aspect of my content and being like, okay, this is not resonating with people because there's no story behind it. So like trying to find that groove, I feel like has been really, it opened up my eyes at, in general, just like looking at filmmaking in a different way, like even sound design. I'm like, oh, I don't even think about like the way people listen to like what you're talking about, or sometimes it's without words and you're just hearing things and it creates this experience for you. And I'm like, okay, taking those bits and pieces of filmmaking and inserting them into my content, I feel like has really warped my content into a different way, like telling my own story so people get to know who I am. So yeah.
I feel like for me, the way that I create, I'm so big on like just creating from like an empty place in a sense. Like, so oftentimes I don't really like look for inspiration like anywhere out, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, like I feel like oftentimes, even when it comes to like fashion or whatever the case may be, like if I like somebody's fashion style, I maybe wouldn't even follow them, because I just don't want to I don't want them to necessarily, I just want to have my own kind of like creative expression, you know. I don't necessarily want my fashion to look like anybody else's, you know. I just want to dress my own, I want to have my own style. And so, but what I would say though, sometimes listening to certain artists, like listening to certain music, it just kind of like evokes like that kind of like creative juices in a sense, but also it just gives me like, listening to African music just gives me like that like, yo, you got to put in work, you know what I'm saying? So I then kind of like just figure out how do I want to kind of show up for it and stuff.
How has your creative process evolved over the years, and what's one thing you would do differently now that you wish you had done earlier?
My creative process has grown so much, because when I tell you, videos that I created 5 years, 6 years ago, I look at it, I'm cringy. I'm like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Terrible. But I feel as though my knowledge when it comes to especially capturing videos has increased so much, because I've literally just been like, I've been obsessed almost in a sense. Like I've watched almost any and every video you can think about when it comes to color grading, when it comes to audio and all of these things. I've spent so much time researching to the point where now like being able to create, like it comes almost like second nature to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like I can see things and automatically like, I can think of things and see how to just bring them into fruition, or whether it be, you know, hiring somebody but knowing how to direct, knowing how to kind of like create. Like I've created some really crazy projects that I until this day I look at it, I'm like, wow, how did I even come up with this idea? But I literally was just, like I said, just kind of taken from the unknown, you know, and kind of creating from that point. But yeah, it definitely has shifted a lot. But one thing that I said I would do now, I think I would just be more vocal and about the things that I believe in. I feel like that has been one of the biggest things for me in terms of being able to build my brand, because people know I just do me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like just showcasing myself to the best way that I possibly can. And sometimes some of the things that I have to say or want to say, people might not agree with, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I still gonna say it. If you don't like it, create content and say something else. You know what I'm saying? But,
of course. Yeah. I would say for me, I agree. Some of the stuff I did like 5 years ago, I was like, girl, don't even show me. I don't even want to hear my voice. Like, this is a bit much. I feel like before I kind of would take on trends and kind of flip the script with that. And it did well for its time, but I feel like having my own thing now, I think is just more, it cements me in my personal brand. Like I want people to be able to like see a video and recognize that is me, versus like it's just a trend that I'm just hopping on. Yeah. So I feel like that storytelling aspect has really, at least for this is something that I've been implementing with my brand strategist, is that storytelling aspect and really tying it back to either like my culture or my own upbringing, or whatever story that I want to tell that just makes sense for me personally. I think enriches my content even more, because it makes it feel like something rather than I'm just throwing things at the wall to just, you know? I
thought I was the only person that I don't really do trends. I don't know. I just felt like I'm in it for the long run. So the trend could be cool and all that. Like for example, like the whole what's it called, morning routine thing that everybody was doing with Esther. I'm just like, all right now, like come on, like let him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's cool sometimes, but it's just like I just feel like I just want to be original. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the trend is cool and all that, but I just want to build my community to be solid off with me and the things that I have to contribute. Because the way I look at creating in general is that we all have something special and something unique within us that we can kind of bring onto the forefront, you know? And so I just don't see the need to necessarily have to kind of like bite off of anybody else's wave or anybody else's creativity, because the same way that God gave them creativity is the same way God gave you creativity as well. So you just got to work on kind of captivating and harvesting those things, and be able to kind of like come up with your own things, you know? So be the next viral sensation rather than hopping up for somebody else's viral sensation.
And the bananas.
Yeah, I'm like, bruh, how many of y'all really wake up at 4 a.m.? Let's really talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Like, how many of y'all really waking up at 4 a.m., bro? Come on, son. Thank you for calling the C&C hotline. We are coming to an end. I greatly appreciated this conversation.
Yeah, this was great.
So nice. It just feels like we're just chit-chatting from
Literally.
for our last trip to San Francisco. We just continued on.
Right.
But so what's your final message to content creators or anyone looking to become a content creator?
I know people say just start, but really you have to make it exist before you perfect it. Because I feel like I'm a perfectionist. And sometimes I'll be so deep in my head that I'm like, I won't even make it exist. So just make it exist first. Make it exist first.
For me, I would say just being consistent, and also you have to picture yourself in a place that you are not there yet. Like you have to picture yourself in a place where it's almost too good to be true in a sense. Like I'm very big on manifesting and being able to visualize your life into reality.
Yeah.
And I feel like oftentimes people feel like they have to be too realistic. Like there's nothing realistic about this. Like this whole thing about being able to create content and being able to make money, it's not realistic. If you would have said this to somebody 15 years ago, they would look at you like you're crazy or something. Like you would have been like, huh?
Idea.
Like they would have no clue whatsoever that that's even a possibility. And so what I'm going to say is just know that you are way more than capable to achieve whatever it is that you see somebody else achieve. You can achieve way more than them as well.
Be delusional.
So yeah, just really be delusional. Like really, I'm delulu in my head. Listen, I don't think people understand. Like in my head, there's nothing about my head and the way I think that's realistic. Like I'm thinking so.
Think big.
Because I think
big.
when I think about where I came from to where I am now, why am I even sitting here on this chair right now? Like having a conversation about, like
2020 me would be like, girl, what did we do? What did we accomplish? That's crazy.
I still have posts on my page with 10 likes. Maybe not 10, 100 likes and 0 comments. You know what I'm saying? I'm here now giving y'all gems on how to create content. Can you, like, it's just ridiculous.
It's delusional.
It's the Salulu. Be Delulu. I'm telling you. It's
period.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Okay, so have you got any future exciting projects coming up that we should know about?
I would say not really too crazy yet. But you
period.
know,
Yeah,
come on, delusion. It's delusional. I'm telling you, in my head, I got something big coming. It's something huge, like what, ginormous. But I have a project that I'm actually doing with this yacht company in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm gonna be in a yacht for like 5 days. It's gonna be magical. So yeah, that and just continuing to do what I do, really.
Beautiful.
You know. So yeah.
For me, I'm going to Grenada at the end of the month. It's a sister trip. So instead of taking my mom, I'm taking my sister.
Oh,
that's going to be fun. So the content is coming. That's going to be cute. And then I do plan, because I'm like trying to get back into the travel bag and just doing more of that, but in an educational way. So there might be an ebook or something that y'all can use for your travels. So it's coming. But yeah.
I sure do hope my mom is not watching this podcast.
Yeah.
She's putting me to shame right now,
I'm
but don't worry,
DM.
it's coming. I'm planning something. I'm planning something
exactly.
in my head. Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at swaggy_mo.
Period.
TikTok swaggy_mo_, YouTube real swaggy mo. You know. So
Love.
I also do have an ebook as well. So if you're worrying about, not worrying about, but if you want to, get your body right and just want to eat more holistic and just, because I'm telling you, food in the US is
it's
terrible. Terrible. So I'm just working on really educating my community on how to eat the best to sustain themselves and not really be out here looking crazy, because summertime is coming. Whether you're ready or
Summer
not,
is here.
It's here.
It's 85 degrees today.
Exactly. So it's just like,
for me, Folahontas, Folahontas on YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram. Where else am I at? I think that's all the things. But yeah, you can find me there, posting content regularly.
Facts.
Yeah.
Being Delulu.
Exactly. Being Delulu. Thank you very much. Thank you, Creators on Creators, for having me, Fola and Mo.
Yeah, make sure to leave us a rating on any podcast platform. And if you're watching, drop us a comment. And do not forget to subscribe.
Period.
Chai. Peace out. And I'm out.
Yay.
Wow.